Welcome back for another video. I'm Eharbad, and in today's video it is Fusion time, Emic Trunk Heart, and we're going to have a little look at the Fusion schedule. I'll give my thoughts and opinions about the schedule and kind of how I'm going to approach it, what the lookout points are, what the pitfalls that I see are, and how I'm going to manage it, basically, is what we're going to look at. In the meantime, I do want to just touch on a couple of things from the events that have already started. If we jump over firstly to the Champion Training Tournament, I think this is fairly standard. We typically do see these kind of 4-day Champion Training with a 7.5k Epic Tome, about 5,000 for the Champion fragments. They can either be in the 4100 or the 5100 slot. That's pretty common. 30 gems, quite nice. Core hammers, whatever. It's bog standard. And then in the actual kind of placement rewards, quite like to get these gems if possible. And otherwise, if I end up doing a lot of points, top 4 all looks decent as well. Really, top 3 is most appealing. On the Dragon side, 2250 is pretty common these days. Usually occupies either the 1800 or the 2250, but I'd say more often than not, we're seeing it there. Epic Tome for me, again, pretty attractive on the challenge account. I do need more epic books, lots of epics to be booked out, as always. But I'll probably will stop at the 2750 and then move over to the Champion Training. But the big elephant in the room is this Dungeon Divers event. I've got just under 2 days left, and I'm absolutely nowhere near. 3,700 points in 3 days is an obscene amount of points to require. If we quickly just grab a calculator, 3,700, you expect roughly 0.7 points per energy in dungeons. That is 5,300 energy in 3 days. So we're looking at 1,700 energy a day. I think typically you'll get around 900 energy a day, if I remember correctly, maybe a touch more, even if we call it 1,000 energy a day that you're going to get. That's 763 as the shortfall, or 6 energy refills per day. That is per day. So that's another 17 and a half, 18 energy refills, or 700 gems. This is really, really punitive. Now, there are some things we will have additional energy that we will be able to get, but we have just come out of a CVC as well. So I already used 5 of these energy refills during CVC, but I'm going to claim the other 5 right now, and that will at least help me on this Dungeon Divers. Furthermore, I actually went and bought 20 energy refills during CVC. Basically to spend the gems during the CVC to get the extra points during CVC, but I used all my other energy refills and kind of tournament rewards during that CVC. So I kind of preemptively planned that I would probably end up needing a decent amount of energy, so I have got that. I'm going to try and use as few of them as possible, but I will almost certainly be relying on this. Don't know what this is. This just popped up. I guess it's to do with the images they sent to the content creators, and this evidently some kind of event coming up. If I were an official content creator, then I might know more, but I'm not, so I don't. Another good area of energy is in Doom Tower itself. Floor 97 today gave me 200, and I also have an energy node here on normal floor 10. There's 18 there, 28. So I'm going to be trying to dart between normal and hard and pick up as many energy nodes as I can during this Dungeon Divers. I'll probably finish up here today, but then since we have no energy in the hard side tomorrow, it might be a good opportunity for me to dart back to normal. I'll also get this today, but then tomorrow maybe I'll do normal so I can get the energy node here. And yeah, I'm going to basically finesse my my Doom Tower to coincide with the energy I get there basically to use in Dungeon Divers. I think that's going to help me reduce the amount of energy refills that I'm going to need to expend on this Dungeon Divers, because it is looking pretty harsh. And one other thing, I finished this spider tournament before the fusion started, and I left it here. Actually, I got gems, so it's not really an issue. But if it had been energy, I was leaving it there just in case, then we can use it at the right time. Now, before I jump over to the actual fusion guides, let's just get this going. Super raids. I am using the Theodore Solo on stage 25, so it's not the most energy efficient, and I probably should be farming stage 20 in that regard, but I am getting champion training done at the same time, so it's not the worst either. So I'm going to let that crack on. It will automatically stop when these hit level 20 max level. I think actually there might be 3 stars, in which case it will go until level 30. But anyway, whilst that's going, let's jump over to the fusion schedule. So this is the one that Plarium themselves put out. For me, it's a little bit messy this time. It's quite hard to kind of follow exactly what's going on and where. Like it's all a bit of a mess. So here's my own one. Oh no, I forgot to put the lines back in. 2 seconds. Right, I'll leave that in the video because it was a funny little mistake. But anyway, here's my version of the fusion plan. And you can see it's a little bit, at least it's ordered chronologically, and it's just a little bit easier for me to explain kind of what my thoughts are, and also talk about sequentially what is happening and when. Right then, if we talk about the energy plan at the bottom first and foremost, you can see pretty self-explanatory. We open with Dragon, trying to maximize the Dungeon Divers with Dragon. Then we move on to champion training. I expect to have that Dragon finished by then. I'll be hard pushing champion training coinciding with Dungeon Divers. But we're going to probably have to do additional energy in potentially Spider or something to get the silver going, and because we're going to have to get a lot more Dungeon Diver points done. As we said, 3,700 is excruciatingly painful. We will probably get a bit of bonus energy coming in from the Arena, the Artifact 1, potentially even Summon Rush. I can't actually remember what the Summon Rush is looking like, so we'll go and check that after we've finished with the plan. I do know that the fragments are 3,000 points, which is 6 sacreds, which will probably be the approach I'll take on the summoning side. And then we move into kind of the next, a little bit of midweek, which should be reasonably quiet in terms of what we actually have to do. But you've got this big trap with Dungeon Divers 2. I think this is going to be really ugly, given the points we've seen on Dungeon Divers 1. This is an extra day. Yeah, I think it's going to be bad. And then another big energy crunch here over the next weekend with yet another Dungeon Divers. So we've got triple Dungeon Divers in actually quite a short fusion. The Razelvarg one, for instance, which also had 3 Dungeon Divers, went an extra 3 days. So we've got a short fusion that is a hybrid model with 3 Dungeon Divers. Like, this is looking really ugly in terms of energy usage. We've got 3 Dungeon Divers, 3 artifact enhancements in a relatively compressed time. I think this is not looking very friendly. In terms of the summoning events, we've obviously got a 10x overlapping with Summon Rush, and we should have 2x Ancients overlapping with Champion Chase, which is pretty straightforward. Pretty happy with that. 2x Ancients is generally a good time for a fusion to drop in terms of the player base. Most people have enough Ancients to deal with that without it being too much of an issue. As long as you're, farming Clan Boss, I think that will be fine. Now, we do have this bonus 50 fragments, which I kind of jokingly put the 800% value. Anyone who saw anything about Diablo Immortal will notice that meme. But anyway, I digress. I think this 50 fragment summon rush that's going to occur midweek is most likely going to be a guaranteed champion. I think that's pretty likely. I can't think what else they've put there that will entice people to summon. Now, the problem is we can't really risk not summoning during this summon rush because we don't know what this is going to look like and we don't know what the point thresholds are. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Like if they actually announced what this schedule really was, if they told us what this summon rush was, and we had an idea about the point requirements and which guaranteed, if it's a guaranteed, it's going to be, which shard type, then people could make informed decisions. But that's not how they play it. They always want to make things a little bit less friendly than that, which is, it's their prerogative to do. And we have to adjust ourselves on how we're going to play it to kind of fit that mindset. Yeah, like I said, I think this will probably be a Sacred Shard guaranteed. That's how I feel it's going to be. Like, we've had a number of Void guaranteed recently, both on the Epic and Legendary side. I don't think it will be an Ancient one, because that doesn't really work with the Summon Rush very well. But if they do, maybe they'll boost the Ancient rates, and then you'll have this decision, do I summon here for the guaranteed, or do I get the 2x Ancients? Maybe that'll be something that they'll kind of make people think about. But I don't know. It's difficult. I'm not really sure what this is going to look like. And because we don't know, even though ideally, if you had information, you would say, oh, maybe I'll just summon during this summon rush and skip the other two summoning, or I'll skip this summon rush now, do the bonus summon rush. I'll do the champion chase during 2x Ancients because I want to do the Ancients anyway. And maybe I can skip one of these really not nice Dungeon Divers events. But we don't know. So I think my approach will be, I'm going to summon 6 Sacreds in this summon rush here. If this is a guaranteed that I can do, I'll probably do that as well. And if it's not Ancient related, I will definitely be doing the Ancients during Champion Chase, which means I'll have 50 bonus fragments and I can skip 2 events, which will probably be Dungeon Divers 2 and Dungeon Divers 3. I think that will be the approach I'm going to take. Now, beyond that, we can't get a copy of the Epic and complete the fusion, even with this bonus summon rush, which is kind of disappointing, to be honest. They could have made this bonus here just the Epic, or 100 fragments, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I think that would have been at least a way that people could walk away with the Epic and the Legendary. That's one of my main issues with these hybrid models, is we never get a way of keeping any of the Epics. And obviously, I did during Razelfog, I got a copy of Delaja, and Delaja's been really big for my account. Like, part of my clan boss team got a lot of resources by having Delaja, and actually pretty good in terms of faction wars and a couple of secret rooms as well. So yeah, a bit frustrating that we can't get a copy of the Epic. So the last thing I wanted to mention is about fusing. Now, the Legendary we can fuse during Clan v Clan, and this is probably going to be a personal reward at PR Clan v Clan. So that's going to be a good number of points coming in there. You do have a choice with the Epics. You could either fuse them during the champion training, a champion chase, at least 3 of them, with the 4th probably coming towards the end or the beginning of CVC. So you could do that as an efficient way of using the champion training. Or you could hold off and fuse all 4 of the Epics once CVC has begun, level them all up, ascend them all, which is again worth worth Clan v Clan points, and then fuse the Legendary for more Clan v Clan points. So there's a lot of Clan v Clan points up for grabs at the end of the fusion here. And it's going to be a personal preference as to whether you fuse 3 of the Epics during this period for champion chase points and champion training efficiency, or fuse everything during Clan v Clan. So yeah, I mean that is basically the fusion plan in a nutshell. That's pretty much all I wanted to show. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. We can go back and see, oh, look how close that was. He's never actually failed, even though we just saw the tiniest slither of health. I haven't had a failure yet on on Dragon 25, but my build isn't really strong enough. Like I do feel a little bit nervous when I watch it. I think it is possible for it to fail. It hasn't yet, but I do think it's possible. I just need a little bit more stats. Hopefully after the next, say, Fire Night tournament, I'll get slightly better regen. Maybe I'll be able to level him up, the gear up, just to the point that this becomes totally safe. Or better, just don't watch it. Just don't watch. Ignorance is bliss. So that's it for this video. I appreciate anyone who's actually no, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, if I do the summons, I'll do them tomorrow or something, and I'll do it in a standalone video. Yeah, I was thinking, should I just add the summons at the end? And we're not going to. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Feedback always welcome, and I do tend to read like pretty much every comment. And I'll see you in the next one. I've got a number of videos I want to get done this weekend, although I'm out quite a bit tomorrow, but hopefully on Sunday I'll be able to put them all together, which will include, faction war pushing, Doom Tower pushing, and maybe a bit of a fusion update. And to be honest, we need to do the photo update. I've got so many photos covering all of July. I need to get that diary update done as well. So yeah, as I said already, and probably said it about 4 times, thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.